Hello everyone, welcome to Angie's Drama Room. I am your meeting host, Angie, where I break down to you or give you discussion on all things drama, focusing mostly on Asian dramas, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, or any dramas I've watched lately. Today is a 12 episode Korean drama that just ended airing and is called The Impossible Heir. This was starring Lee Jae-wook, and it was about a illegitimate son of a conglomerate who hatched a plan with the character Lee Jae-wook to take over the conglomerate. So that's just a brief synopsis. It really was a lot of in-depth involved in that, but that's pretty much what the catch was. I'm going to break it down to you because it was almost like it was so much. The first couple of episodes, 3 or 4 episodes in the beginning, it was just the connection between the two friends, Lee Jae-wook and Lee Jong-young. I'm going to go by their character names, which was Han, which is Lee Jae-wook, and Khan or Beck. Beck is probably more or less how I talked about his name, which was Lee Jong-young. Those two came up with a plan. They started off hating each other, became friends, and then towards the end they were frenemies. Okay, so the beginning was really good. I liked the dynamics, I liked the characters, I liked how they played off of each other. They were really good, and I was actually really interested in watching this show because I love watching dramas with Lee Jae-wook in it. I watch other ones with him in it. He's a very good actor. He did really well in this drama. However, it reminded me a little bit of Tempted, if anybody remember Tempted. It was basically the best friend turned on the other guy, but that's pretty much what happened here. So that was kind of in the beginning. The beginning episodes were very good. It setting and everything up. I really enjoyed it. Then we got to the middle. I call it the boardroom drama. This is where the family dynamics came in. The family power struggle came in. Those who wanted to take over the chairman position. So this is where they established it. There was 2 older sons who were the actual legitimate heir, and then there was a younger sister. But the firstborn son was just an alcoholic, druggie, womanizer. The second one was the mama's boy who just goes along with it. And then of course the daughter who really was just younger, and she was there just as a go forth. But if you love the whole power struggles and the boardroom drama, then you pretty much would like the middle. To me, it kind of a little bit over my head. I just wanted to watch it, but when they had to set up the establishment, and you got to realize this is also a time jump. So they went from 5 years, boom, and then 5 years, boom. So it was almost 10 years at this point. And then at the end, that's when it came from becoming a drama to a suspense thriller. So at the end was Beck kind of turned on Han. Jealousy arose, hatred arose. So then Beck became more about deception, deceit, lies in order to get ahead. Han was trying to keep it as business and try to manipulate it through business. But of course, Beck was trying to do it as deception, lies, and deceit. And then it was really good because they really did great on the suspense, action, the thriller. Beck, the character Lee Jong-young, who was playing Beck, he was very good becoming that villain. So he was like the best friend. Then he came frenemies in the middle. So Han was still trying to work with him. He knew he didn't like how it was going, but still Han still encouraged him. Then at the end, he just became an enemy to Han. And it was just fueled by jealousy, basically, because first of all, the chairman, who was the father, favored Han because Han came up with all these good plans. He was making him money. And then you had the girl, the female lead, and she was trying to, that's love triangle. So she was, like Han, but then she went with and married Beck basically as a stepping stone to her own career. And so that jealousy arose because Beck knew that the female lead liked Han, and so that's how it really was. When all said and done, Beck became the villain. Beck was ended up in jail. Beck ended up, well, I'm not going to really say, but while he was in jail, he died in jail. However, it was by his own hands. Okay, and so and then 3 years jump. So the chairman was sick. It was just a lot of interesting things. The chairman got sick. He couldn't handle. He had a heart condition, and every time he gets an episode, he drops his pills bottle, and then people was happening to be around, and they was waiting for him to die. Then he recovered. Then the second time happened. He dropped his pill bottle again. And then Beck was there and basically didn't help his dad. And then he ended up drowning, supposedly, in a pool of water. And then cut to later, he ended up recovering. And then he was in a wheelchair, of course, because he was in a coma well, not coma, but unconscious for a long period of time. So his mobility, I get the chair in the beginning, but cut 3 years later, he was still in the chair. Why was he still in the wheelchair 3 years later? I guess his heart was so weak that he still couldn't walk. So he had to be in a wheelchair. But the villain, so when Beck became the villain, it kind of, you were upset with what he was doing. You were mad because he was just doing all these things to Han. You framed him for murder. He had his mother, well, indirectly killed by his father again. So you're kind of like, wow, you're kind of mad at him at this point. But then when it came down to him actually getting his due, it was like you were feeling sorry for him by that time, because you're like, oh, he was just misunderstood. That's why they made it seem. Remember, when you're a villain, I've been watching Korean dramas, and when you're a villain from the beginning to the end. And for this case, when Beck was in jail, you kind of was like, when he finally got his due, he goes to jail, but you kind of still feel a little bit of sorry for him. And so then when Han shows up and starts talking to him, he starts saying, I always saw you as my friend. And you're kind of like, wait a minute, am I supposed to be mad? Am I supposed to be glad? Or what's going on? So it was one of those things where you just kind of was trying to figure out what was happening. He wasn't quite sure if you were supposed to be glad, happy, sad. And of course, then at the end, what happened to him in jail. Okay, this is getting kind of weird, but however, and then at the end, as I was saying, that he ended up becoming the CEO, Han became the CEO, was this his plan all along? Because it was like he looks out through the window and he sees these fireworks. Cut to back when they first episode, he's overlooking the Khan group's a mansion. And he sees fireworks there. He says, I have achieved my dream. Now present time, he goes, I have seen, like he said something like, I have achieved my dream. Now for another dream. Wait a minute, what? So was Han considered the impossible heir? Or was it the illegitimate son, but he ended up dying? Let me talk to you about the female lead. To me, the female lead was kind of like a product placement. She really didn't have much of a role in this show. She was just there. I call it the product placement acting, or the NPC, the non-player character. She was just there for the narrative, for the jealousy to fuel, because she really, if she just was gone, I don't think you really needed her in there. I guess it would just help to fuel Beck's jealousy. But so she kind of didn't really play a part, because even at the end, most times the guy get the girls, but at the end she never there was no relationship at the end. It was just a lot of questions, a lot of confusion. Again, if you like DJ Wook, I would say yes, watch it. If you like boardroom dramas, family struggles, CEOs trying to take over the family business, yes, I would say watch it. But if you're there thinking that there was going to be some form of romantic interest or anything like that, there wasn't. That wasn't even part of the whole thing. So I think this was pretty much like the grown-up version of this. I think this is pretty much the grown-up version for Lee J. Wook. He did a lot of idol dramas, a lot of young dramas. And then it was kind of weird that, you know, him taking over the family business in his 30s, and they actually listening to him back when he was in college and developed his whole plan. That was kind of weird too. But however, I hope, let me know what you think. Let's open up a discussion. Let me know what you thought about The Impossible Heir. Meeting adjourned.